There are many steps to the discipline and/or complaint process. When complaints are made about college members, an investigation is completed. The investigation committee will review all relevant data. The member and individual who complained are not involved throughout these meetings. All disciplinary hearings are generally open to the public, meaning anybody can listen in on the meeting. There are a few committees that are involved in these processes. These committees include the Discipline Committee, the Fitness to Practice Committee, and the Investigation Committee. The Discipline Committee and the Fitness to Practice Committee are the ones who are in charge of the disciplinary process. There are many steps involved in the disciplinary process. These steps are as follows. The first step is the application process. The second is the documentation process. The next steps include waivers, procedures prior to the hearing, motions, and pre-hearing conferences. Following those steps is disclosure and production, and electronic and writing proceedings. After those steps come taking evidence before the hearing, expedited hearings, and constitutional questions. Next is the procedures during the hearing, followed by adjournments, the final decisions, costs, reinstatement applications, and reprimands. This process is very important and it protects us as teachers in our profession. We deal with people who are very vulnerable on a regular basis, and there needs to be a process in place so that people are held accountable for doing something wrong.
So now we're going to discuss some of the main points that are part of the disciplinary process. All of the following information can be found on the OCT website. A 3-member panel will hear and decide the case if a formal complaint has been investigated and referred to the discipline committee. If a member is found guilty, then consequences can include their certificate being revoked, suspension or limitations being placed on their certificate, or a fixed period where the member will be ineligible for reinstatement. If there are findings of professional misconduct, other options could include being reprimanded, fined up to $5,000, and reimbursing the college if necessary.
The complaint process. Sometimes concerns or complaints can be dealt with at the school level, i.e., talking with teachers, principal, and/or school board employer. If further assistance is needed, contact OCT for assistance to inquire about an investigation. Once the first 2 steps are completed, submit the information about the concern or issue you have. Once you've submitted your claim, the complainant provides the committee investigator with all documentation regarding the claim as evidence. Then, the committee investigator requires a written statement about the allegations. The investigator then informs the member of question about these allegations put forth about them and gives them information about the investigation process. From there, members are encouraged to contact their federation, professional organization, or lawyer. The member is invited to submit a written response within 30 days of receiving notice of the complaint. The investigator then asks for people who may have witnessed or know information about these allegations. The investigator gives the complainant the member's written statement for comments. From there, the investigator will put together a report of all the information collected from the complainant, the member, and the witnesses. The report then goes to the committee for further review.
Advocacy is an essential portion of the role of a union for its members. Unions advocate for teachers individually if complaints are made and collectively in regards to negotiations. Unions such as OECTA, OSSTF, or EPFO all work together providing members with legal protection while working on a case-by-case basis. EPFO will generally support its members, however, support can be denied for a number of reasons. Some of these reasons include providing complaints against other members and committing acts of professional misconduct. The link provided describes an example where a teacher committed an act of professional misconduct. The member pleaded guilty to 5 counts of misconduct, including disgraceful, dishonorable, and unprofessional conduct. Members have the right to union representation, and it is required for administrators to inform the member. Speaking with an executive officer from your union is essential before providing administrators with information. A pre-hearing will occur in order to determine if the complaint is valid or if it needs to be dismissed. If a hearing needs to occur, then complainants and respondents are both involved and responsible for the presentation of evidence. OCT plays an important role while fostering public trust in the teaching profession. It is important that parents know that their child's educators are qualified and following the standards that are in place. As future educators, it's essential that we are familiar with both the standards of practice as well as the ethical standards. Educators need to make sure that they are acting in appropriate ways as if they were a careful and prudent parent. OCT is important in order to monitor these standards. As we become educators in the future, we need to ensure that we're acting in ways that support the profession as well as our students.